Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the AI School of Possibilities. I'm here with my colleague Mary. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Paul. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to our weekly AI chat. Very glad to be back.
Yes, it's been quite a week. There's some interesting stuff happening. I think you wanted to kick us off with GrokBot, you said. You want to tell us more
Yes.
about that?
Yes, we've had GrokBot come out from XAI in conjunction with Cursor. It's been a cause of a lot of excitement recently. It's only available for Mac OS at the moment, and you access it using your Cursor account. Is that correct, Paul?
Yes, it is, Mary.
Yes, there's quite a few exciting things about GrokBots, no doubt about it. I think one of the main things is the fact that it comes with its own agents. So it's very similar to Hermes or OpenClaw. And for people that have been reticent or reluctant to go through the technical setup of those, this makes it very easy for them. I think that's the main thing. And then these agents have a shared virtual machine environment, so it's an environment that's separate from your computer. They have a virtual environment, and once you have them doing things, they can keep doing them without you having to have your computer on. So far, I think for me, those are the major pluses about this. And you have one bot that is the ruler of them all, and all of them handwork over smoothly. So very good points. I do think personally there are some downsides still to it. I think the major one being the fact that it's only available to Mac users. Mac users always get preferential treatment, honestly. And then you are tied into Grok. And the most important thing is, let me scroll down here, guys, so that we can check out how much it will cost us to actually access this. So at the moment, you can only access this if you have a Cursor Ultra or a Super Grok Heavy, which is a $200 a month. So pretty hefty price, don't you think? Or what are your thoughts on this one?
Not for me. I'm happy with Hermes. I'm finding I use it more and more and more. And there isn't anything I can throw at it that it can't do. The interface with Grok looks a bit like speaking to the different agents inside Buzz. And I've got Buzz running with Hermes on 3 computers. And so I don't see why, and not at that price, $200 a month. So I don't see why I would want to be doing that. But then, having said that, I'm not a developer. I use it to get regular work done and get a lot of it done. And every day I discover something new that I can use Hermes for. So I do like the experimenting part. So why would I want to lock myself into an environment with Grok? I mean, imagine next week we've already had OpenAI drop the API price of ChatGPT 5.6 Luna. Now, another LLM might be dropping their price, and I want to experiment with that. But I'm stuck in Grok world. Yeah, not for me.
Totally agreed. Totally agreed. And the fact that all of the different LLMs have their own strengths. So everyone knows Claude is really good at writing. Seems to be the darling of coding at the moment. You want to have a system that mixes and matches. You can have Fable as your supervisor because everyone agrees that that's the most intelligent at the moment. But if you just have Grok doing all the things, then it kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm definitely for keeping the system flexible enough for you to be able to change and move things around as you see fit, when you see fit.
Yes. I mean, I think that with what we do and the training we do, obviously what Hermes allows us to do is create bespoke profiles for people and build it out for them so that they can use it, match the work they do. You can't do that. You might be able to do that in Grok, but you've got to tell somebody, okay, but the bill is $200 a month.
Yeah.
I think that's quite funny. And then again, but you and I both like using different AIs anyway.
Correct. And most of all the other AIs, the Codex and the Claude, are already building such systems that make it possible for you to have agents anyway. So it's not a moat that I think GrokBot will be able to hold for any period of time, if you ask me.
No, I just think that if you really look at the world of AI and the developments taking place, and just the big leaps that they've made with the different LLMs in the past year, I'm not going to lock myself into one system and then I can't try out what Claude's come up with, which I do use, especially the Chrome plugin, or I use it for red teaming a lot. And my favorite is ChatGPT. I've got to leave ChatGPT and go, no thanks. And talking about ChatGPT, people say I'm crazy, but I can tell when they're busy upgrading these systems. There's little things that happen. And sometimes it's obvious. They say you are now using a new version of ChatGPT. So the name hasn't changed, but I've observed that there's something going on. And then suddenly I'm using a new version. And I was playing around with a website I'm building. I thought, I don't know why I get these ideas, but I thought, let me try this. So I gave it a URL and said, can these placeholder images on this page, can you create images for this website, for this page? And it doesn't just create one image, it goes off and creates six. Like the invite we send out to our Monday weekly AI chat. The other day I said, well, I'm a bit bored with this design. Can you try three others? And it came back and it gave me three designs. I said, no, try again. And then it gave me three designs and the one I liked. I said, yeah, I like that one. Now, can you just do this? Suddenly that appears to now exist in ChatGPT, and I think it's awesome. So I'm not going to miss out on that. Mary, keeping with ChatGPT, you wanted to tell us about the new Astra model?
Yes. And we think that this is the model that has been causing all of the headlines recently and hacking into all the systems trying to find the answers. Now we know its name. The name was under wraps before, but now we know it is OpenAI's Astra. It's a scientific genius and also cyber threat. Astra reportedly solved 10 previously open math and computer science problems with machine checkable proof. So that was some celebration, but we also know that Astra was responsible for the hacking that we heard about on Hugging Face recently. So isn't it ironic when the same system is responsible for the same intelligence that advances science can autonomously discover and exploit vulnerabilities? It's a very interesting world we live in these days, isn't it, Paul?
Indeed. I think it's indeed. What I find fascinating is how lazy these models seem to be. They like, okay, well, I'm not going to work this out. There's an answer over there, and I'm going to hack that. I shouldn't laugh about it. And we know it's serious, and there's concerns about it. But it's like a teenager wanting to get their hands on the exam papers before the exam so they can score really well. I wonder if they know that. I wonder if the fact that they get scored on these leadership boards, they themselves become competitive. And then when you ask them about another model, and then they go, well, I've never heard of this model. And I'm like, but you have access to the internet.
Well, going from the high of OpenAI with their celebration of the math breakthrough, it's on with Claude. And Claude is my darling because I tend to use Claude a lot, but it seems to be getting so much flack these days. Last week, it was about the shredding of the books. This week is about invisible watermarks. Anthropic is embedding machine readable marks into Claude generated text, codes, and files, partly in response to EU AI Act. The mark may survive copying and pasting, but indicates that Claude processed the content. Now, not necessarily that Claude wrote the content, but that the content has been passed through Claude. Pretty interesting development, and it's got a mixed bag of reactions. What's your first reaction, Paul?
A very dare day. I mean, seriously, it's not like it's just on content that Claude has completely generated. So if you create content, say I start something in ChatGPT and then I paste it into Claude and I want to red team it, suddenly this gets a watermark from Anthropic and Claude. And then people can go, oh, but Claude generated it. This is all AI generated, which we both know is not the case. You had an interesting point to make on this with the way you create your speeches.
Yes, definitely. Recently, I had to give a speech and I took an example or an occurrence from my own personal experience and I just used Whisper Flow. I spoke about it for about 2, 3 minutes. And then I took that transcript along with some pointers of the lessons that I learned from this and put it into Claude and used Claude to help me clean it up, made some edits so that it sounded more like me. And it was done. So curiously, if I do that now, is that going to say that it was made by Claude? Is that
Mm.
going to count against me? Then what's the point of using Claude? Because it's my experience, it's my direction. There's things that I removed and there's things that I put in there. So why should I get penalized for it? So yeah, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I don't know if it's going to be one of those things that stick around for a week and then they change it. I mean, like you said, they created it in response to the EU AI Act. And I get people create slop, etc. But we speak to people about keeping themselves in the loop with their creation, the way you've just described creating that speech, or whether you create a blog post, etc. You know, you think it through, you assess, you run it through different AIs, you do research. But for them then to put their brand on it, yeah, I'd like to see where it goes.
Last week, we asked the question, is your business ready for AI? And as Paul will jokingly say, we're not talking about, the robots walking into your shop with a credit card. We're talking about, is your online presence ready for AI? And I mentioned the whole Google search thing, and I'll just quickly share an example. So these days, when I go onto Google, I tend to ask questions. It already gives you links. So if I'm going to click on any link, it'll probably be on the links that are already at the top of the pages, because that's what I know that Google has already taken a few of my question into consideration. It's looking at stuff that is available in South Africa and is within my budget. Now I don't even click on the links. I could possibly say, where can I find something close to me? And now we're having a conversation and it's looking at what's your location, what's your exact budget, and I just work with it like that. If you haven't tweaked your website so that these sort of questions will surface your shop, then you are leaving your business open for other new ones to come on board. I mean, Paul, what do you think about this?
Mary, I think because AI is shortening the customer journey. We always want convenience. And like you pointed out, the AI option there has already done a lot of the hard work for you. So if you're in a hurry, you're far more likely to follow the route of just going into AI mode because you've worked with it, you trust it, and it's already answered specific questions. When you scroll down and you go to one of the other links, you inevitably go down that rabbit hole of this product and that product and paid ads, etc. According to the latest research, more than half of AI referred Shopify visitors reportedly arrive directly on a product page. So they already made up their mind. They've asked a few questions and they've arrived at the product they want. With organic search, that figure is 20%. So they're not merely arriving to browse. So, how do you prepare your business for this, Mary?
There's five main things I think you need to look at to be AI customer ready. We can quickly run through them. The most important is to be clear. An AI assistant wants to be able to understand within seconds what your website or your business is. What does this business do? Who does it serve? Where does it operate? What does it sell? And what makes it meaningfully or significantly different from other people? So this sounds very obvious, but many websites are filled with beautiful yet very flowery, vague language. It's like we all love prose. We're passionate about empowering your wellness journey. What does that say? That may sound lovely, but it doesn't tell an AI exactly what you do. Almost nothing really. So compare that to we supply ethically sourced nutritional supplements and natural wellness products to independent health retailers and practitioners across South Africa. That is spot on. It defines the product, the customer, the positioning, the geography, and if an AI can confidently explain your business, then it'll be confident to recommend it. So be clear.
Yes, I love that. And be complete. Your product and services pages need enough information for an AI to answer a customer's real questions. For a product, they may include what exactly is it? Who is it intended for? What are the ingredients, etc. So it helps to be complete. Run this through ChatGPT, run it through Claude, whatever AI you use to make sure that what goes onto your website is readable by an AI bot to bring you to the front of the line. For a service, the AI may need to show what problems do you solve? Who is the service for? Is it online or in person? If this information is scattered across your website, hidden inside images, or simply missing, the AI may either misunderstand your offering or recommend a competitor whose information is clearer. AI cannot reliably recommend what it has to guess. Over to you, Mary.
Now, number three is be credible. AI assistants do not only look for claims, they look for supporting evidence. Make your credibility visible. And that includes proper about page, real contact details, clear returns and delivery policies, customer reviews, professional experience, relevant certifications, and links to authoritative information. If you're in wellness, credibility is particularly important. Avoid exaggerated health claims. Be precise about what a product contains and what it may support and what evidence or traditional use supports the description. Do not claim certifications you don't hold, and do not allow vague marketing language to create an impression that cannot be sustained. The goal is not to sound impressive. The goal is to make the business easy to trust.
Yeah, I think it's so important. I mean, I'm in the health game, so I hate it when people make exaggerated claims. It's a pet hate. The next point is to be crawlable. This is the slightly more technical part, but you do not need to become a developer. Your important business information should exist as readable text on your website, not only inside images, videos, brochures, or downloadable PDFs. Use clear page headings, sensible product categories, internal links, FAQs, and descriptive page titles. Use clear headings, sensible product categories, internal links, FAQs, etc. Your website should also have an up to date sitemap and, where appropriate, structured data that helps machines recognize products, prices, availability, reviews, addresses, and other important information. You should ask your web developer to check whether legitimate AI search crawlers are being blocked. OpenAI specifically says that websites wishing to appear in ChatGPT search should allow its OAI search bot. Importantly, the OAI search bot is used for search. GPT bot is associated with gathering information for model training. A business can allow the search crawler while choosing not to allow the training crawler. So you can get the bot that will help you list in search without allowing the bot that's training on information on your page. Being visible in AI search does not guarantee that you will be recommended, but blocking the search crawler certainly makes it more difficult.
Indeed. And yeah, the fifth C is to be current. Now, if I had a rand for every website that I've gone to that you can clearly see has not been updated in years. Now, if you want to be found by the AI bots, being current is very important. AI readiness is not a once-off website project. Outdated prices, unavailable products, expired offers, incorrect opening hours, old delivery information, all of these can undermine both customer confidence and AI recommendations. So review your key pages regularly. Ask whether the information still reflects what your business actually offers today. AI systems may also misunderstand your business, so test what they are saying. Ask ChatGPT, Gemini, or another search enabled AI to explain your business. Ask it to compare one of your products with alternatives. Ask it whether your business would be suitable for a particular type of customer. You'd be very surprised by what it gets right, and even more surprised by what it gets wrong. And it's very important to do these little experiments just to make sure that you're serving everything that should be served and you're serving it correctly. Now, here's a very useful prompt that you could use. Review my publicly accessible website at insert your website address as though you are an AI assistant deciding whether to recommend my business. Explain what you believe the business does, who it serves, where it operates, what products or services it offers, and what makes it different. Identify any important customer questions that the website does not answer clearly. Review the clarity and completeness of the product or services page, frequently asked questions page, about page, contact information, policies, trust signals, and overall content structure. Do not invent missing information. Then give me the 10 highest priority improvements that would make the business easier for AI assistants to understand, trust, and recommend. Now, you could take this one step further by giving the AI 3 realistic customer requests. For example, would you recommend this business to an independent health retailer looking for ethical wellness products? Or which product on this website would be the most relevant to someone with these particular requirements? The purpose is not to ask the AI to flatter you, it's to discover whether your business information is clear enough to survive an independent interpretation. The old internet way was largely about being found. The emerging AI internet is about being understood, trusted, and selected. Search engines have traditionally rewarded visibility and popularity. AI may increasingly reward relevance, the ability to match a specific product with a very specific customer requirement. Now, this could be a major opportunity for smaller businesses. I personally think it is. You may not have the biggest advertising budget, and you may not rank first on Google. You may not be the most famous brand, but if your products are genuinely relevant, your information is complete, and your website makes that relevance easy to understand, AI could help the right customers discover you.
Yeah, exactly, Mary. I think this is the bit that most people don't realize is that you could now compete with somebody that has a large budget and may have been ranking on Google for years because this is new territory and those companies may not have updated their websites yet. So there's a real opportunity here for small businesses.
Okay. So here's an experiment for this week. Ask an AI assistant to audit your website. Then ask it 3 questions that a real customer might ask and see whether your business appears, whether it is described accurately, and whether the AI has enough information to recommend it confidently. You don't need to try to repair all of the website at once. Choose one important page, make it clearer, more complete, more credible, more crawlable, and more current. Because your next customer may not begin their journey on your website.
They may begin it with a conversation, and the AI will decide which businesses are worth introducing. So if you want to remain part of the conversation, make sure your website is AI ready. Well, Mary, I think that brings us to the end of this weekly chat. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Nothing. I think we've had a really nice chat today, catching up and being able to leave some tips for our viewers.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate you, and hopefully we'll see you back here next week. And don't forget to like and subscribe